Derek Adams has been relieved of his duty as of today. Bradford City have sacked him. He's gone. A lot of the fans wanted him gone. I was Adams in. A lot was Adams out. A lot was content about it. I wanted him in because I'm sick to death of this football club sacking managers during the season, and then we can't get the season back on track, and that's how we're stuck in League 2. It's annoying how season after season managers are kicked out the door and then we've got to restart. Give him time with his players. He's got his players in. Now let him have the time with them. I know he's had 8 months, 37 games, but 37 games is not enough to sack a manager who's 11th and 8 points off the playoffs, which is not where we should be, but it's a big club. He hasn't managed a big club like Bradford City before. He's managed relatively small clubs in Plymouth, Morecambe and Ross County. Now, I'm not too sure about Ross County being a small club, but I do know that it probably ain't around 25,000 capacity seats, is it? So, he should have done better in his time, but you've got to give a manager 12 months. And then whilst you're giving him 12 months, you've got to give him the summer. And then let him bring in the players they want. He'd get STEM players, but then he might realise, I want these. And then give him time, because then he's had 3 transfer windows to sign his players. And then you give him till Christmas, and then you assess it at Christmas, when you're halfway through his second season. And then you get a good idea of how he's doing, instead of just kicking him out the door when it starts going wrong. I mean, 11th in the league is not good for a team who were expected to win the league, challenging for the league, getting promotion. But, you give him time. Got to give a manager longer than that. February ain't a good time for these managers. Bowyer, McCall, now Adams. I'm pretty sure Hopkins was sacked in February. If it wasn't, it was March. Give him the time. I mean, he's just signed his January transfer players, and they haven't really had time to use them. The thing is, Roddy's signing's actually Adams's. Think about it. You got Delfonso, he's playing him on the wing. Robinson, barely used. Lavery, barely used. I mean, we've signed a lot of strikers, and we don't use a lot of strikers. We use one, and I'd say we've got 5 or 6 strikers in the football club that aren't used, which is poor. Roddy's signings, he plays a one up front. We've got about 6 of them sat on the bench doing that. So I think we need to assess ourselves as a football club and think, should we give managers more time? I don't mean the fans, I mean the board. They need to take a look at themselves and say, we need to be doing better at recruiting managers, because we're getting the wrong ones consistently. Now, I'll tell you the candidates. Grant McCann, 3-1. Michael Flynn, 4-1. Mark Truman, 6-1. Robbie Fowler, 10-1. Steve Evans, 12-1. James Rowe, 12-1. Woodgate, 12-1. And Warnock, 12-1. That was off the TNA. Now, I don't know where they got it from, but I saw that in the TNA. Grant McCann first. Would he want to come to Bradford City, who are mid-table in League 2, when he was just sacked by a Championship club? He'll attract a lot bigger, because he was doing a good job at Hull. I think he undeservedly sacked. So I can't see that happening. Michael Flynn's favourite for the Walsall job. Mark Truman, I definitely think he will be given the end of the season as caretaker manager, and then they'll assess how he's done. He could even get it full time. Robbie Fowler, it's Robbie Fowler, innit? I mean, experience barely any. Leeds player, and would I don't know too much about him because I don't know him as a manager. I know him as a player. Steve Evans. We'll move on. James Rowe, former Chesterfield manager. He's under investigation for something I don't know, so I can't go into it. Woodgate, former Leeds player, former Championship manager. Would he drop down to League 2? Maybe to try and prove himself, but would he fit? Probably not. And then Neil Warnock, another former Leeds manager. I don't think it really bothers him, as he didn't do well either. But, you know, I won't... It's quite boring, the football, innit? And I think if we sign a manager, he's got to be liked by the fans, and he's got to suit how the fans want him to play. He's got to be on the front foot and attacking. We can't get a reserved, pragmatic manager in, like an Adams, like a Warnock. We've got to know he wants to play on the front foot, because if not, the fans have to take to a manager. The fans took to McCall. But even that football wasn't great towards the end of the second spell, and in the third spell. So even McCall, did he really fit how the fans wanted us to play? Parky knew it. Parkinson knew it. We need a manager who does. But back on to Adams, a win percentage of 24.3 is not good enough for us. 9 wins and 15 draws, and however many defeats. Ain't good enough, but got to give him time. You can't judge a manager off 37 games, I don't feel. So, yeah, but I'm sure he'll move on. I'm sure he'll get another job in League 1 or 2, or even the Scottish leagues. He did well at Ross County, he won promotion there, won the league actually in his second spell, won the Scottish Championship, got them promoted, and then he left to go to Plymouth where he got promoted into League 1 from League 2, and then he got sacked by Plymouth after a good first season. Second season went downhill. He went to Morecambe to try and prove himself to be a good manager again. Then he got them promoted. Then he came into Bradford to challenge himself, and he failed. It's got to go down as a failure, whether it's his fault, or the players' fault, or the board's fault. It's a failure from all parties. Board should have given more time. Manager should have done better in the time, and the players should maybe put more effort in. So, it's up for the debate. Were you one of Adams in or Adams out? Put it in the comments. I was Adams in at the time, and I want to know what you think about Adams. Have a good one.